Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Scrim. Today is a little bit different. We are going to talk about the industry and getting into the industry and also what it takes to sustain within this industry and all the challenges and the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm really excited today to talk with our guests about this. I think it's the perfect person to talk to. So without any further ado, please welcome Mr. Wade Ratliff.
Howdy. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing good, man. What's going on in life right now? As you know, in the events world, it's sort of that transition from busy to kind of medium pace and slow. Yeah. So I feel like I'm getting to take a breath right now and it feels good. How about yourself?
Same thing, a little bit less slow.
Yeah.
I think, but we're getting there. Basically coming from the full speed run to the brisk walk.
To the brisk walk, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that kind of always something that you look forward to, knowing kind of the seasonality of Austin, that like you have kind of a moment to sort of take a step back?
I think both it goes both ways, right? I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like, oh man, the less work is, once we have less work, we have less, income coming in and so on. So I go from being anxious to being excited about that on a regular basis.
It triggers that response, like that's your
pretty much always thinking.
That's your response. always thinking. Well, that's good, man. I know you guys are grinding. Y'all have had an incredible run at Austin Event Lighting, and you yourself through your career, and we're going to dive into all that. And kind of what I want to start with today is, before we really dive into your it moment, is kind of a little bit more about sort of what you've done to get to where you are. So, if we kind of take a step back, you kind of sounded like really started your professional career in 2009. That was you getting into it. During those first few years, sound like you had some fun opportunities being involved with Fun Fest when you were working with Ilios. And for those who don't know Fun Fest, that was the pinnacle of Austin, just coolness, weirdness. It was, ACL Festival is awesome, but Fun Fest just
doesn't hold a candle to it. Fun was the best thing that ever happened in this town.
It really was. It just kind of, even the way that they structured the stages originally, side by side, you had Weird Al as a headliner. You had all sorts of genres of music. You had fucking wrestling, like BMX biking. Like it was
comedy festival. You never knew it was. Yeah, it was just best experience you could have in this town.
Right. And I think I'm sure that was a special moment for the production crews, because y'all were doing something that really hadn't been done in Austin, and you were pulling off some big moments for people. So you started getting involved with that. Then you coming out of South by Southwest, where you're starting to really develop, you then join up with Blue October. That's around 2016. And then you're on tour with them for 4 years. Then COVID. Yeah. And then out of COVID, you really sync up with Austin Event Lighting, with AEL. You help develop their operations. And I think, Sean and Chris, they're incredible people. But I know you brought just a level of technicality, professionalism that I think launched them, really helped launch them into the stratosphere of where they are now. So you've had just a steady rise, but let's take it back a little bit before that. So before 2009, what gets you even started in this industry? Like what leads you down this path?
Honestly, being led down the path would have been like tech theater at McCallum High School.
Okay.
We did, I used to do shows and dances and singing and, telling people
what
words.
got you into tech theater? I was a choir kid.
Yes.
Yeah, I was a choir kid, so I wanted to be the talent,
yeah.
When I was getting into it back in the day. What led you into the tech side of it?
The tech side would probably have come because of the lack of talent. Especially at school with a bunch of art kids, right? Like everybody around you is fairly elevated. It's a fine arts magnet school, so you don't really. It's really hard to shine in a pond full of exceptionally good people. It is easy to shine in tech theater anywhere you go, because most people
This is true.
don't know anything about what's happening at all, at least from the audience perspective. So you can walk away being like, "Yep, I made those roses fall from the sky," or whatever other nonsense that happens during the show.
But like, was there any? There wasn't like really YouTube around, was there? Or like, I mean, there wasn't like an influence to sort of shuffle you in there. Was there a teacher? Or was there somebody?
Oh, there was definitely. I mean, I don't know if he's what piloted me into it. I mean, a lot of it was friends, right? So I've got some people that I got closer to, who were involved in these kinds of things, and you kind of, in order to be a part of the clique, or to have a group of friends, you kind of migrate to something, and it's like that was the least problematic thing we could be doing, right? We were not out like breaking people's windows like we did a couple times before that with the other groups of friends, and other stuff like that. We're kind of just, we're building something, we're doing something, and it's a success. And I just remember seeing like my buddy Joel. He seemed very interested, and he loved how all the theater stuff was going, and I just got involved on that.
That's dope.
The acting and dancing and all that stuff at the same time, like all these things happen about roughly the same time. And then again, the place that you can shine the most is tech theater. Like, no one wants to do lights for some reason in high school compared to everybody wanting to be, in the production or whatever, or people like to do the carpentry side of stuff or whatever. It's like, don't give me power tools.
Yeah. I mean, I clearly remember that, because I mean, I had to make that decision too, right? Of like, choir, whatever, or, going to the theater side of it. And like the technical side just seems so foreign, and I didn't want to be in that world at that time. And now, obviously, being in that world, I'm just like, wow, like that's actually pretty badass that they offer those programs for kids right now, and that you can get into it.
100%. I mean, and we were blessed to be at a good school with a exceptionally good, theater program director. I think he's somewhere in Dallas running another school somewhere now. But homeboy was like 5 years older than us, 6 years older than us. So he's pretty close in age, funny guy, taught me how to work professionally with other people, which I think was the first most important thing to all. Like, there's your building blocks, right? Like, if you can't work with other people, at least to a certain level, you're never going to get anywhere. So you're just stuck.
Absolutely.
And I watch people like that all the time, where they just can't, they're just constantly butting heads, for no reason.
I agree 100%. That's a very important skill to have, because you cannot do this without other people.
Yeah.
There's no, it's like you can maybe be a solo artist, but you can't be a solo production person.
Right. Yeah.
you gotta work with people.
I mean, there's probably some tiny lane in which you could do that, but that's like better than me.
Yeah.
Whoever that guy is.
That's actually my next guest. No,
yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So what else were you doing during that time period, leading up to 2009? Were you also, you mentioned like you were also doing some theater stuff, but were you playing music? Were you doing odd jobs? Like what were you still trying to do leading up to taking a step into it?
I was playing guitar quite a bit in school. I was the guy carrying the guitar around the school, I'm that guy. And there were a couple of girls that thought that was great.
Hey.
And did some skateboarding very poorly for a little while. I like to bowl. I lived next to Dart Bowl.
Oh, heck,
because it's next door to the school, and I literally live like 2 houses away. So I was at Dart Bowl like all the time. I ate at Dart Bowl all the time. Like, I just basically lived at that bowling alley for.
Bowling was awesome.
Bowling is awesome
in high school. Yeah, that was a ton of fun.
Like, I don't know why we don't do that every day. We should all have bowling alleys.
How do we know? All right. You guys must be doing great over there. So you're kind of having your fun hobby stuff. And then, with your clique, were there other people who were taking an interest as much as you were taking an interest into the production side?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of them were on the college track. So, they may be interested in that thing, but they're going to go do it at this place on the other side of the country. versus in our local market, there really wasn't anybody doing it in the local market from my like group of people.
And did you go to college?
I did not. I shortly attended right around the corner the Rio Grande campus of the
ACC?
ACC, yeah,
Nice.
for a semester maybe, a couple classes.
Good on you, man.
Too much.
Kudos.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Yeah, I went to college for a couple of years and then I had to get out. Just like I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, it's hard to justify
Yeah.
paying people to make you read.
Yeah. Right. And
I just
yeah, for me it was took a history class and it was like the history of World War II and they taught it in one day and I was like, this is bullshit. I'm a big WW2 buff, which I've heard is early onset Republican. Or someone was at Shane Gill. Someone says like, you're gonna be early onset Republican if you're a World War II buff. And
interesting. I've never heard that.
But I don't think that's the case.
I'm also a World War II buff, so hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, who knows, man? You still got time. It's early onset,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, it's kind of fucked up. Like we're paying a lot of money and well, I guess, I was fortunate my parents were paying a lot of money and I was just like, I can't justify going to class. And so
at least you realized that, and you didn't keep wasting your parents' money.
Yeah. Well, I took influence from Clifford Antone because he was a teacher at UT before he passed away.
I did not know that.
He taught the history of blues and I took that class and that's actually what made me want to drop out because I was like, this is awesome. Like he just told stories about his club.
That's cool.
And I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't know what that is, but that's what I want to do. So that's kind of what led me down my path. But for you, I mean, it sounds like when you attended and you're like, nope, I'm out. So then was it just kind of working? And is that when you really started trying to pick up more work into the production world?
Yeah, it's basically around then. And, when you're working for these nonprofit, low budget theater productions and stuff around town, which is basically how it started out, you have to work at like 5 or 6 things in a very short amount of time to make any amount of money at all. It's like measurable. I mean, you're walking away with like $25 a night on some of these like 3 or 4 hour work things. It's like, I mean, this is back in 2009 money, but still.
Yeah, so that was like equivalent to like $100.
Yeah, it's current equivalent of about like 75 probably is what it feels like at least. Yeah, got paid a lot in beer.
Yeah, that's a good currency
from some buddies
when you're starting out.
Yeah, I had roommates. We had 4 people living in one house for a little while, which I continued to live in personally until just last year.
Dang, so that house is...
Oh, that house was a disaster by the time we were done with it.
Did you get your deposit back?
Hell no. We can't discuss it on the podcast.
Still in litigation.
There's but I don't remember what the point of that was. Oh yeah, we used to work a bunch of low budget money stuff, so you're just constantly bouncing around and partying and hanging out with people. Just kind of like meeting the group of people that you end up, the next group of people you're gonna latch on to, because that's basically all life is latching on to varying groups of people. Like as much as everybody wants to say they're unique and individual and all, it's like we're all really looking for like small groups of people who don't yell at us whenever we, make mistakes or whatever. People who work to grow with you as opposed to tear you down. And so it's like there's a lot of movement between groups, I think, throughout life, and I don't think that's a problem. I think that's a good thing for.
I like people. That thought because inevitably too, you're going to change. So
every day,
you're going to be influenced by something, and I think that's a good way to keep moving for sure. So it sounds like you're kind of going through all of that, and I think this brings us to the core of today, which is that decision, that moment of saying, this is what I want to do professionally, because I feel like there is that moment probably in most industries and careers where you just kind of have to decide that this is how you're going to now, generate your main income. This is how you're going to advance in life, advance skill sets. And it's a tough decision to make, especially in our industry. It's not, I think, a normal path for most people. And It can be a lonely path if you don't find your crew starting out. So let's kind of talk into that for a minute. So, starting in 2009, you really start getting into it. And then it sounds like you meet with Elios, you get into their team, and you go on a big run between Fun and South by. So what was going on during that time period for the light bulb to go off? Like what made that light bulb go off, you think?
I don't know if there's any one single specific thing, but it's like a whole, a build up, right? So it was like, you start doing your South by stuff. When you start off, you don't get much, get much love from the people. Everybody's kind of testing. You're like, is this guy worth anything at all? Do we invite him to the big kid table? And that's normal. That's just trying to figure out your stuff. So that was probably the first almost year there was,
And that's like you being called to go set up or go tear down or go prep or de-prep.
Last minute nonsense for like whatever the lowest rates could be, like the just crew stuff. No leadership, no
design,
no pressing
actual
buttons, don't touch the console.
Yeah.
Unless you're lifting it up. I make it sound worse than it was, but we just during that time alone, we did so many like crazy. Like everything was crazy to me at that point. Like everything was new. The first time I walked into a room with motors, I think it was Convention Center for the Dell Children's Gala that Elios always does. It's a top floor ballroom of the Convention Center. Walked in there. I think that was the first time I ever saw. I mean, obviously I'd seen motors, but ever worked on a gig where motors were moving around and doing all this stuff at one time.
Dude, you're flying things in, flying things out.
It's like 35 points, 34 points or something like that in this ballroom. And there's like 50 dudes that all know exactly what's going on, or at least that's how it seems to me. They're 5 years, 7 years older than me, and they're yelling and they're sweating and they're, they clearly were on the load in. I'm just on the load out. And I think that would be the first like really big, like, oh shit, this is cool. Like there's so many things moving around. This is dangerous. Like, we don't really know what we're doing, and they're just letting us do stuff. Like, I love that. Like, that was
what do you think? Right. And it's like, what do you think? Like, what was going through your mind in terms of how do you adapt in that environment? You're green, that you don't know what's going on. There's a ton of other people in the room. Were there things that you started doing then to help you stand out a bit, or is anybody coaching you, or is it just sort of, hey, I need to insert myself where I see fit?
Man, I mean, that's hard. I don't know exactly. Probably just based on the way that I know my brain works, I probably found the person in the group that seemed like they knew the most, and like they were the most important person in the group, or the most like revered person in the group, and I just did whatever they told me to do until the day was over. Because if you just stay around the guy who's working hard all the time, all day, he'll give you shit to do the whole time.
That's a good point.
If you can't do it, then you can't do it. But if you can do it, then you look good to that guy, and you want to look good to that guy.
Right.
Who cares about the other 5 guys that are in the same position as you? You don't need to look as good to them at those moments. So that's probably what I did. Was probably like,
I think that's good insight and good advice for people who are getting into it, because it might be, you could maybe take the comfort approach where you're going to find people maybe at your skill set who you can kind of talk and bullshit and kind of hang off to the side. Right. Or you can put yourself in a vulnerable position, find maybe the smartest person in the room or the hardest worker in the room, and really get after it. I think people who are starting out, whether they consciously or subconsciously make that decision, that's a big fork in the road, I feel like, of,
oh yeah.
And if you choose to go the comfortable path, then you're probably going to stay in that area for longer than if you choose to go the uncomfortable path and put yourself out there.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, and if you stay in that comfortable path for too long, you'll literally never leave.
Right.
Like,
there's just
so many guys that are, 50 years in and they're still in the same place that they were, 50 years ago. And you're like, it's just not sustainable. That's not how, life is supposed to work.
Well, and some people, maybe that's a lane for them that, yeah, it's a comfortable
and they
path,
love it and it works, and
yeah,
they can do it financially. It's if you're financially stable, you do whatever you want.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But if you're poor all the time and you're broke, maybe start trying to get better at your job so that you get
push it.
Yeah, you can always push yourself, especially if it's like if you're getting eaten up by. I'm constantly depressed because I never have any money.
Yeah, push yourself.
Like, do something.
Well, that kind of leads us to, so, you've gone into, that sort of moment when you're seeing all these things happen. So now what were the steps that you started taking when you finally realized, okay, there's something cool here. How do I better myself? Like, what were those steps that you started taking?
I mean, one major thing that I started doing was, and at the time at Elios was pretty much a big party. Like, it was a very, very fun place to be as a younger adult.
And that was also like, it was Elios, Midnight, Big House, Nomad, I think was like,
But yeah, it was just starting. I mean, Elios had really just started at that point as well. Midnight and Big House have been around for a long time.
Those were
and then you had your Elios and your Nomad were kind of like the next class of people coming in, and then you got your other people on the periphery like CPD and who were their own lane. Miller Pro. I don't actually know how long they've been around, but I'm assuming a long time.
I feel like they've been around with like Big House, and they've just always just kind of been there,
doing their thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were really only like 5 or 6, production companies in town of that were of merit, right? That
could handle a certain scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've got
I mean,
15, 20.
Right.
I mean,
Which is cool.
The smallest companies in town can handle some of the biggest stuff we were doing back in 2009, so it's, yeah.
No, it's definitely changed, but so, I mean, that's the thing is I guess that's a good and bad. There were less companies back then, which meant they were probably getting the lion's share of all the work and a lot of cool work and big jobs.
Yep.
But at the same time, because there's less companies, there's maybe less opportunity for somebody to get in and really climb their way up just because there's only a select few, and those are very high profile positions to be in. So kind of going back to, how did you start taking steps to level yourself up? Was it after hours at the shop?
That's exactly it. 100%.
That's
just never leave the shop. Like, why would you hang out at home when you could just hang out at the shop and you could be, there when someone has a last minute run that needs to happen in the middle of the day on a Tuesday? Like, I would just not be on the schedule, and I would be at Elios with a console or with something, plugging stuff in, messing with stuff, like burst your faces in front of everybody. Second, you're learning shit. And that's the shit they're not letting you do right now on site. So as soon as you learn it, and they've seen that you're doing it, boom, there's your 3 steps to getting someone to give you a better opportunity.
And I think that's so valuable for people to hear, because if you're learning on site, that's not the way to do it. I mean, granted, you're going to learn to overcome challenges on site, but if you think that leveling up, I mean, in my opinion, if you think that leveling up means learning it on site, getting the gig to then figure it out on site, it's like, that doesn't seem the right path.
It's not.
But okay, cool. I'm just making sure, just double checking. But with that being said, so how are you mentally selling yourself or overcoming the notion of like, well, I'm putting myself out there, maybe you're not getting paid for that time. Was that just sort of a commitment to yourself saying, hey, I'm going to invest in this time and hopefully it'll pay out in the end?
Yeah. I mean, in reality, it was, what was I going to be doing otherwise? Smoking weed, sitting on my couch at home? I could just smoke weed behind Elios, walk back in and do console stuff for a little bit. Like,
just learn.
What's the difference, except this thing I'm doing something useful and this thing I'm rotting my brain on the television. It's like,
let's go back to that PSA.
You're doing the same amount of, yeah, exactly. This is your brain on drugs.
This is your brain on a lighting console.
It's the same waste of time either way, right? Like, if you're just killing time, why not be killing time? You got a place with all this money worth of stuff, right? Like, I couldn't hope in my personal life to afford, for nowadays an MA3 console, $80,000 console.
Yeah.
It's like, I make pretty good money, but not that much money.
Yeah.
It's like, to be able to walk into a place, I mean, we've got 5 MA3s at the shop, and people can just come in and flip it up and open it up and start messing with stuff. It's like, to be able to access, like the highest quality equipment at any given time and just work on it. Why would you waste time at home doing nothing? Like, that seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a mental, I don't know, there seems like there's a mental barrier for people of this perceived value that if they're not getting paid, then they would rather be doing nothing. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like maybe I'm just being biased on how I perceive people or generations or whatever, or just whatever that is. And, you know, am I an old guy now
We're gonna
saying
toe
that?
the line here with the political conversation.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, yeah. What is that? Does that make me a Republican for,
Yes.
you know, for saying work?
no, man. I mean, honestly, it's this whole your time is X value. I don't know. Like my time is more valuable. You're not paying me to be here right now. Uh,
Yeah.
I should be at
Disclaimer.
home.
He's not getting paid.
Not getting paid. I could I mean I should be at home, but I could be at home on the I could be at the computer right now doing something that's making money for the company, but I'm here. Why am I here? I don't really know. Drew asked me to be here. But is this more important to me than like it's like having you asking me to have a conversation with you is more important than the email that I gotta send. Like there's so much
Appreciate
more.
that.
There's so many like different like levels of importance and like yeah. There's stuff that has to happen. You know the day-to-day tasks and
Mhm.
stuff. But it's like to take time out to do something that someone asks you to do for a specific reason. It's like I'm not making money doing this. It's not gonna probably help our business that much. It might. But like, I'm just here because you wanted me to be here. And I know that my relationship with you is bettered by me being here and talking to you. That's just standard, human interaction.
I think the point that I'm getting from that is, and maybe we can dive into this more, is you've learned what that prioritization is for you. Is that just something that comes through time, most likely, of just learning like what to say yes to and what to say no to and where to invest your time? That just comes with time.
Probably, I have a tendency to say yes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I know that I say yes to less things now than I used to. So I do think that that's something that you just kind of learn from experience. When we were kids, we would do back in the low budget theater days. I'd be doing like 5 or 6 gigs in like a 2-day span, and we'd be like, all right, we're gonna leave this place at 7 so that we can get to this place at 8 to work from 8 to 11:30, and then we're gonna hop back over and we're gonna go to this place and we're gonna do this thing, and it's like just making the most convoluted plans possible, right? Just so we can make $100.
Right.
And it's like I don't remember what the point of that was, but like I learned that
Well, you had to
why
say
make
yes.
such a convoluted plan? Yeah, I could just say yes to the right person at the right time. Or I could say, how about I do that tomorrow? Like you got a lot of power in when you first start doing stuff, you're always, you're trying to appease everybody, right? There's a lot of power in like, no, that doesn't work for me, man. Can we do, Wednesday instead of Monday? And then, you'd be like, oh yeah, man, we could totally do Wednesday. There's no point. And it's like, I'm over here stressing like, God, he asked me to do it on Monday and
Yeah, but
I can't do it on Monday, but I've got to tell him I can. It's like, you don't lose by asking questions. You don't lose by trying to make things work for yourself. You don't have to kill yourself to get, I don't know where I'm getting with that, but you don't have to kill yourself to get
Just to say
where
yes
you're
to
say yes to things. Like people will fit you into their thing. And if you miss an opportunity because you can't physically be there because you told someone else you'd be somewhere else, then you miss that opportunity.
Right.
That's the guy who's hiring you for the thing that you can't go to would much rather you don't say you'll be there and then not show up than say, man, I'm busy. I already have a commitment with somebody. Somebody says I have a commitment with somebody. They're in there, I've got to do, they start talking. It's like, I don't care. I got to call the next person, man. You told someone you're working. That's good.
Yeah, stick to that.
Work for them. I don't care how much money it is. I don't want you to know how much money it is for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call the next person because like I don't want people dumping stuff on me. Like you tell someone you're gonna be there, you be there. Like
I mean, I think that's a such a valuable lesson, and I think that's the fastest way to not get a call back, right?
yeah, easy.
Is bailing on a gig because you either picked up another one or you overcommitted, and that's a tough. It's hard to work your way back from that to build that trust.
You do it 4 times and you're done. Like if you do it
Is
four different places. Like,
right, because this town is small.
Yeah, I mean, and you can since COVID, you can get away with a lot here, right? Because we lost a lot of the the older heads, a bunch of people moved out of the industry. Rates went up for everybody, so it became more of a job, not a passion project for everybody, like it was back in the pre-COVID days. Like we were all so broke,
right?
We were all enjoying what we were doing. Post-COVID, there's a little bit more money involved than there used to be, which is great because everybody was.
I think that was
far
a long time
underpaid
coming.
back in the day. Yeah,
that was definitely that correction needed to happen.
But simultaneously, that also brings the guy who could be working at McDonald's, says, "Well, I can make better money doing this thing." And, he may not be better. Honestly, we've hired some people who've worked at Whataburger who are the best people we've ever hired at our company. So, and that's their best, one of their biggest experiences is manager at Whataburger. It's like one of my best people.
Well, I would say that this industry is heavily hospitality based.
Yeah.
There's obviously a technical component,
service.
But it's customer service at the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a valid point to bring up. And I do think that course correction with rates and everything, there's been good and bad with that. And I think there's, it's just weird the mentality that comes, because I felt like there were some people who'd been in the industry for a minute and their rates did go up, but now somebody green is
making the same
or just under or whatever it is. And I know that, that's a gut punch.
It's horrible. That's our biggest problem, actually. We have a whole, probably not our biggest problem, but we have, everything is day rates, right, for us. So it's like we're doing the flat rates for everybody on the same position.
That's pretty
for the
standard
same thing.
Across. Yeah.
It didn't used to be, and there used to be tiers to value of person and that kind of thing. It's like when we're doing the flat day rate thing, it's like, I get. Sometimes I see, we got a 6-person crew. I see 4 people working real hard and 2 people not working very hard, and they're all making the same amount of money. And I know that they see that, and I know that they're frustrated about it. And then every now and then they snap at us, and they're like, "Why is this happening?"
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't know, the market. I've got all these businessman things to say in that response, but it's like, I don't know, man. It seems fucked to me too. So.
It's a valid point, but what are we gonna do?
Yeah, what are we gonna do about it? I can't.
It's I see that because my my wife, she comes from the education industry. Like when she first started her professional career, and her mom has been in that industry for a long, long time. And teacher, and it was the same thing for teachers, where all of a sudden this, historically teachers got paid shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, because we all realized that, education is kind of important, we should probably pay teachers a more livable wage. Then all these new teachers were now making what these teachers been in the industry forever out of the gate. And there's just this natural resentment that gets created.
Yep.
It's a tough place to be in, but I think you just, like you said, you kind of have to just reward the ones who are doing well, and then not call the ones who are just, slacking off or whatever. And
that's the best thing about contract labor. I hate the whole concept of 1099, right? It's basically just a way for the business to make more money off the backs of the workers. And it's guised as freedom of choice for when I work, and I get to choose my own schedule, but that's not really what. In reality, it's me getting 8% more money than you because I didn't cover part of your taxes.
I don't have to worry about taxes, your insurance. It's pretty fucking awesome.
It works great for the business owner. You guys all love it, and I don't understand why as freelancers. But I can just not call them. You just find another crop of people and you go for it. And it just takes a while to weed through all the folks, and then some people just have bad days, and that gets really poorly reflected on them.
Right.
You got to keep a little bit of rope for oh man, maybe someone's dad just died, and that's why they were an asshole to the client. You never really know. It's never usually that, but if my dad died, I'd probably lash out at somebody or something.
Might be pissed off that day or that week or that year.
You got to kind of figure out what happened most of the time before you really decide to. This guy's useless or this guy can't do whatever.
So to that point, when we talk a little bit about, when you were making this decision to get into the industry, do you feel like you were given that opportunity, that rope to develop, to have your good days and bad days?
Yes. Particularly at Elios, I feel like I was given far more rope than anybody should have ever given me. which is great because I wouldn't be where I am without it. But like, man, we got as basic rule. If you can make the clients happy, no one cared about anything else. Like you.
That's step one.
Like I won pretty well in most arguments with the office over things, or at least I say won. I walked away feeling like I won. I probably didn't win those arguments, but it's like, yeah, in the end, most of the people that I'm working with, like the people who are paying for this shit, like what I did, like the way I acted and treated them. You know, it's like y'all. I remember getting feedback from the office being like, we just don't understand. Well, I'm paraphrasing, but like we don't understand why all these people like you so much or whatever on site. It's like because you're very abrasive here, and it's like, yeah, I'm abrasive to y'all because y'all are the middlemen here, like you know, and I'm the middleman now, you know, like
yeah, the tables have turned.
Tables have turned, man. Oh, dude, I apologize sincerely to everybody at Helios for all the many things that I said over the years.
It's that karma. It totally comes around, dude, man.
Yeah, like you realize after it's like, you know, fuck this. Why is this like this? Why is this like this? And now, like 6 years later, I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to make it not that. Everything we try to not do that way, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Turns out you kind of need to do it that way.
Turns out there was a reason, and that's what they were telling me. And I was like, "Fuck you guys, you don't know what you're talking about,
dude."
So
that must be just the natural human nature, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that goes back to giving rope because I know I've experienced frustrations with that, with crew and you know, people getting into the industry, and I have to humble myself at times when I am feeling my frustrations or emotions get the hold of me on that. Cause I was that kid. And that's part of the reason why we started Word, because we thought everyone was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, you know, this
I can do this way better.
Yeah. And then it's like you get into it and you're like, oh yeah, I see why it's like the way it is, you know. It's bigger than you. It's way more complex than you think it is.
All these cogs.
So many cogs in the wheel.
Like,
it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
And I think when you're starting out, you get hyper fixated on one thing because you have time to think about one thing. But then you realize once you start stacking that all up,
yeah,
like where do you put your efforts in fighting the system?
Right.
But I think that's really good to hear. And I think a reminder for people of, you know, let's talk on that just for a little bit longer. You knowing that you were kind of given that leeway, though, it seems like there's a finite window of you being able to challenge the system before you are just, you know, just somebody who's opposing all the time and becoming poison in the well.
Yeah.
And like, what do you think that window is?
I mean, based on my experience at Helios, probably like 6 years, 5 years. You know, I mean, at a certain point, and again, I'm not saying anybody said that I was poison in the well, but like at a certain point, I know that my attitude of just raw nonsense, again, making the clients happy. The key is as long as you're making the clients happy, they can't fire you. Like nobody can fire. I can't fire you. Drew can't fire you. Nobody can get rid of you for making the clients happy.
This is true.
So you can
you get that one card, y'all.
So as long as, and that's why I don't get when some people are like, you want to be uppity and you want to piss off the client. It's like, you can't do that. Like these people make sure you eat. The business won't mess with you if you make the clients happy. And I did. And at a certain point, I just remember yelling all the time. I was yelling at some of my best friends, you know, like Alex Soto, Zach Boswell, like people that I revere. And I'm just like, fuck you, all these mean things about nothing, you know, just like taking, you know, you're looking at I'm doing 1 gig a day, right?
Yeah.
They're handling 10, you know? And so it's like you come up, and I remember being so pissed all the time when I'd walk into the office and be like, I just start on some sentence about something as if everybody in here should know exactly what I'm talking about and should be attuned to exactly what's going on in my mind, because I am clearly the center of the universe. You know, it just doesn't work like that. And at a certain point, even your best people, you're going to get pissed off about, like, even your best advocates are going to get pissed off that you're doing that. And they're going to find a way for you to get out of there. That's not necessarily like, get rid of this person, but like, let's see if we give him some opportunity outside of the building to do something. Because I really just worked for Helios when it got to production stuff, like for that time, until they pushed me out on Blue October.
We were talking about putting in those after hours, putting in the time to learn the technology and things like that. And I want to talk about how, you're keeping the client happy. Were you by you keeping the client happy, was that based on your technical skill level and being able to execute in the field, but then also just the personality of, just being kind and respectful of them on site, being funny with them?
It's probably a mix of two things, of those things. It's mostly saying yes, man. Saying yes and then delivering on the thing you said yes to. Like, and it's, at a certain point, they're asking for something that no one even knows about, right? Like most of it, especially with like private event clients, it's like by the time the crew guy is on site, these people will either be making up stuff or it is real stuff that got talked about that we forgot in the office or whatever. And
Yeah.
you just kind of like, what are you going to do? Say, nah, lady, we're not going to I'm not going to put the lights over there. They told me to put the lights over here. And it's like, well, who's paying for you to be there? It's this lady. Just put the lights wherever the lady tells you to put it. And that's what the office will tell you every time. They're like, yeah, why are you calling? Go do whatever makes them not ask for money back. So I think it's just saying, like, honestly, then that yes attitude that like, okay, we've done this thing. A lot of times we do something like twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, half the time when you get to the second time, people are like, when you have to do a third time, almost everybody's like,
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like, what else were you doing? Like,
yeah, what else are you doing today? This is what we're doing today.
I don't really have a personal life, and I haven't for years. It's been work related and so on. I'm working as hard as I can now so that someday I don't have to.
I agree with that. I feel like that's a mental barrier that in this industry you kind of have to overcome. Of if you want to have a personal life, by all means, like if that's what keeps you sane and healthy, definitely, you got to balance that. But it seems like there are, in this industry in particular, I mean, I'm sure you could say it for finance, and there's obviously people are just gonna like, that's their life, that's what they want to do, so. But this industry is competitive like that, where like there are, people like yourself, and a phrase that I heard, which, take it or leave it, by old Jeff Bezos, but he said, I think it was him. It was either him or like Jamie Dimon. I don't know. I was like watching some economic forum conference or something, but they said they're shifting from the mentality of work-life balance to work-life harmony. And I liked the way that they put that, because I think if you try and keep things in balance, then you're going to just be plateaued.
Yeah.
You're just,
we're always pulling one way or the other if you're trying to balance it. Yeah.
Right. Whereas harmony is you might be fully immersed into something for a while, but it's bringing you joy. It's, it's fulfilling, it's filling your cup.
Yeah.
And then you might get to maybe where you're feeling burned out or tired, and then you maybe take that time or space. But I guess for you, it does. I mean, I think you are unique. You're unique, Wade. But
Thank you, baby.
There are. I think that is a mental barrier that is very challenging for a lot of people to just commit to it, knowing that you're doing it now, so therefore, hopefully down the line, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But it's a bet. It's a bet and a risk.
Everything's a bet.
That's true.
I
mean, I tell people too, it's like, doesn't like the retirement system's fucked anyways. Yeah. So it's like, our generation and everyone below us is going to have to work till they're 80 years old anyways, right, unless you hit the jackpot or fucking stocks or whatever it is.
Even then, man, they'll take that away from you somehow too.
Yeah. It's like, we're just, I think inevitably just based on the debt we are as a country, if somebody's expected to pay it off,
yeah,
we're going to have to work, for the foreseeable future. So cool. We're gonna have to work. Yeah. Let's work.
Yeah. Set yourself up to be able to find a, like I love my job. I love where I work. I love coming to work most of the time. And there are obviously those moments where you're like, God, why do I work every day? Because I work about 7 days a week. Sometimes I take a day off here and there, but there's always some kind of phone call or something happening that puts you back into the mode. So it's like, it is really what you said, the harmony thing. You have to find a way to be okay with laying in bed and getting a phone call from someone at 3 a.m, asking you to be in Kingsland by 7 a.m. or whatever. In order for that not to throw you, you've really got to you got to care about what you're doing. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing too. It's like, you said earlier, the finance stuff and all that. Whatever you do, you should care. We've done a lot of denigrating to like work in this country because like everybody's been overworked for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, even if you're not working, you still should be doing something useful. Like you shouldn't be sitting, and I love video games, but you shouldn't be sitting at home playing Call of Duty all day. You could easily build a pond in your backyard, or you could, build a swing set. Who doesn't like a swing set? But people are so like, I work at work, so I should just sit at home and just, do nothing. It's like, man, you've got to be moving. You've got to be doing something. Cause I get trapped in this not moving thing too, cause I'm just tired from working all the time. And it's like, no, you got to keep moving. Like if you keep moving, your brain is always moving. If your brain's always moving, you're always finding the next thing that you need to be doing. You're always finding the next like useful place for your time to be put.
Is that how you, I guess, keep yourself mentally sharp? Is you're kind of just always looking on to the next horizon? Like, even if you have something good right in front of you?
Yes.
I
don't know if it's how I keep myself mentally sharp, but I can barely even focus on the things that are directly in front of me. Yeah. I'm almost always looking at I got a 10-year plan, I got a 20-year plan, I got a 5-year plan. I'm like the Communist Party of China. Like, I've got it all mapped out.
Damn. We're gonna be going to battle in 20 years with Wade. Shit.
Yeah.
I think it kind of leads us to, you mentioned you love your work, right? There's obviously these bad days, but there's a lot of good days. But let's sort of talk about the challenges of this industry and the challenges of your work. And starting out, when you're getting into it, you mentioned it, financially, it's always a challenge because I wouldn't say you're probably making a livable wage starting out. Like, you can't just think that you're going to be on just a setup crew or teardown crew and be able to make rent
2 times a week. Yeah.
But you mentioned something where it's like, when you were in that time period, you had multiple roommates. It was kind of that situation. And it made me think about, there's a romance to that. And there's that like startup mentality too, of like, when you look at some of these giant apps now, and like Silicon Valley, it's like, that was how they started, right? They started out in a house with a group of people, grinding
they were awake all the time, just
24/7, just going, and that breeds something extremely special. It also, I'm sure, burns out a lot of people, and there's winners and losers from that. But it sounds like that was, kind of how you managed through it. But beyond just the finances side of it, what are some of those other challenges that you find yourself coming up against as you're coming up in the industry?
As I was coming up in the industry, finance is clearly a big thing. And I think a lot of things root from that, like general stress, comes from, how am I going to eat tomorrow?
Right. Pay for gas, make rent.
Relationships have always been pretty hard. To maintain, especially with the strange schedule. And then, I'm not the most pleasant person to be around. I have a tendency.
You're a pretty swell fella.
Try living with me. I bet you can ask any of my ex roommates or my current girlfriend. I'm sure that they're stoked about living with me. But attitude, man. Attitude is the biggest thing. Like when you're young, you're so convinced that you're right about everything. And I think that's true about everybody all over the place. Yep. And you're not right about, you can't possibly be right about more than 40%. Like there's definitely that 40%. Yeah. These other guys over here, they got that 40% wrong. And you've got that right. Yes. But these other things that they're telling you, they're legit. And you're just you spend so much time getting so angry about everything. Like, I didn't get this, at least personally. Yeah. I didn't get this the way I wanted it. I didn't get this opportunity. I didn't this. that girl left without making out with me, blah blah blah, like all just any random thing that could get you upset.
That ego or whatever.
Yeah,
it
that
is.
ego and that need to just be mad all the time, like because I think I start my day. I mean, I'm generally speaking. I think I'm an angry person most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't think that shows all the time because I've gotten better at managing that.
Yeah. It's good harmony.
But
Got good
yeah.
harmony with that. Yeah.
But like, you know, generally speaking, if I'll take it to here pretty quickly. It doesn't take me much to go from here to here, and so it's like working on that. Like that was the biggest struggle I've ever had. Continues to be the biggest struggle I've ever had, was just working on my I'm right, you're wrong.
How
I'm
do
gonna
you like
degrade you now?
what would
Like,
yeah, all right, I get it. I get you. What do you think, or how do you work on something like that? Is it through just trial and error of like losing colleagues and friends, or
Yeah.
know, like, and then when do you feel like you've actually improved upon it?
when you stop losing colleagues and friends.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that's
I mean, that's it. Yeah. Did you ever did you have people to vent to about this, or like through those things? Like, did you have at least like that group, of associates or colleagues that
I had
y'all
a group of colleagues that were equally mad all the time. And
Yeah.
so it was
so
great.
y'all
'Cause
like,
that was another thing. Like there was a group of people at Helios that were always really mad about everything, and so we could always yell about shit and back and forth. We worked really well together, you know. And then it's fun. It sucks. It sucks when it happens to you sometimes, but it is also the most fun thing that can happen to you is getting put in your place by somebody.
Oof,
Like
man, yeah.
like I'm so convinced that I'm right, and I'm so convinced that you're wrong, and then they prove you wrong, and it's like what you do in reaction to that is like the proving of who you are as a person. Like, do I just throw my hands up and say "fuck you" and walk away, or do I say, "Oh man, you're right"? Oh man, I've just been being an asshole for like an hour for no reason. Because a lot of these things are not. You don't figure out if someone's right or wrong until hours later. You know, like you start down this project, and then you get to the last thing, and they're like, nothing's gonna fit. It's all off by 3 inches, and you're like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? Of course it worked perfectly, or whatever. And it's like, oh no, it doesn't. Oh man, you're right.
Yeah, we got to backtrack now.
Now we got to backtrack. We got to come up with a new plan. We got to figure out a way to fix this. And I need to, especially if you're in charge at the moment, when you make that mistake, I need to own the mistake to all of these people around me so that they will continue to trust me and work with me, which is that's one of the hardest things to get down, because usually people's tendency is to say, no, I was still right. You guys just did it wrong. You know, because sometimes that's true, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time I was wrong.
You're wrong. And now we got. I mean, that takes us to those oh shit moments, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just going to happen in this world
Every day.
There's always going to be an oh shit moment. So you gave us a little bit of insight in terms of maybe the moment of kind of when to accept the responsibility and, inform the team, or, because I think that does go a long way. Maybe it's perceived as weakness. I certainly don't, but I see it as a strength if you admit that you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'd rather it just be known and then corrected, right? Because we all have those moments. But when do you what's your balance of internalizing that, but then also externalizing that? Do you try and keep it internalized for as long as you possibly can? Or when is that moment when you just kind of got to be like, okay, I need to start making calls, or I need to.
How much is it going to affect morale?
Good.
The sooner, if it doesn't affect, if nobody gains anything by me being like, oh, I fucked up, then nobody knows. Then I never tell anybody that I fucked up. But if it's going to make everybody work a little better, or if it's going to make everybody feel better about something, it's why not just fess up and say the thing? Typically, don't tell the client if you can avoid it. Unless it's again, if they're not going to notice something, why would they need to know? I mean, they're only going to notice what they care about, and why do they need to know what they don't care about? Like, would you walk up to, you know, what I don't know. Would you walk up to a random stranger and start talking to them about shit they don't care about? Like, I mean, yes, maybe,
Yeah.
but like,
It's called making conversation.
yeah. Well, but no, but because when you make conversation, you talk about like the weather or stuff that people, you know,
Politics.
yeah, politics, something everybody can agree on instantly. uh, so I don't know, man. I'm so bad at answering questions.
I think we're getting something out of that. I mean, you did bring up the good point of morale. So like in an oh shit moment, and I've talked with 7 guests up until now. You're guest number 8. And everyone has their, you know, when and where to address the oh shit moment, but I don't think anyone has brought up morale as being kind of a factor in addressing it. And I think that's a good point.
It's probably the most important thing. You
That's
know, like, cause like, man, the clients are gonna come and go. You have to work with these people every day. Like, if you're with your team and so on, and it's like, if I constantly, because I don't get everything right, and if I'm constantly ruining stuff and never take accountability with my people, they'll just leave and go work for somebody else. They'll go work for you. They'll go work for anybody else in town. You're building a family and a community at the same time. Like, yes, it's a job. Yes, I'm the boss. It's not, you know, family, but like you're trying to build something that's cohesive and works well together and can be repeated. And if you're not thinking about people's morale on a regular basis, you're not going to have a very good long-term prospect.
No, I think those are some great words. I agree with that. It's good and I'm gonna keep that in mind. 'Cause that's definitely a good one.
You'll have to pay me for that idea.
Yeah, you get my Venmo. Let's talk about where you are in your career in terms of your skill sets, your responsibilities. I found it interesting. So you had mentioned in one of the questions the challenges of emails, or like when it comes to design, so much gets lost in those conversations.
Yep.
And you brought up a great point of some of y'all's biggest and best clients and events have been done with like less than half the amount of conversation and emails than some of the smaller, you know, just, you know, not even on the scale of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting point. With that, when you are doing your design work, who are you taking the lead from? Is it really the client's vision? Are you trying to collaborate internally?
If it doesn't have anything to do with video, if it's just lighting related, I typically don't work with anybody else in the team for like vision or design idea. I usually I'm asking like, is this safe to somebody? Like, I've got this crazy idea. Can we put it into Braceworks and figure out if it's possible? But like, yeah, it's like, what's the theme? What's your layout? Dude, if I had $1 for every time someone asks us to put something together and doesn't send us a basic layout of what they're trying to, like, I don't even know if this is a dinner. I don't, is this a dinner? Is it a seated dinner? Is everybody standing and watching this band play? What is happening at your event? And they're like, well, we need a quote by the end of the day. And it's like, dude, you're not gonna get a good quote from me. So you're just gonna get whatever I came up with, and whatever, and we're not gonna get this job. And then most other people will do the phone call. I need this get. It's like, dude, if you can't be bothered to send me a layout or a basic idea of what your event is doing, do you really care about your event that much? Like, and if you really need to lean on other people to do that, it's like you got to at least tell them like, yeah, it's gonna be a seated dinner with 200 people and a band. I'm making only a small number of people are like this, but it happens like once a week. Someone sends us something that.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with this, and how am I supposed to get you something by the end of the day? And it always goes to the big companies too. It's always like, and those are good money contracts usually. If you can deal with the fact that these people have no idea what they're talking about most of the time, they'll pay you tons of money.
Right. There's that, like, there are those clients who are like, money will solve the problem. Right. And those are good to have. But in my experience, sounds like you're saying the same. Sometimes those are kind of the worst ones to have.
Stressful.
Yeah. Because money cannot solve stupid I'm not saying they're stupid, but it's just like money can't solve everything.
Yeah.
And there has to be some collaboration and some effort on their side in terms of really what the output is. And I think that might be changing with our industry. I feel like where I feel like production companies, rental houses, their value is becoming more of that design effort, in place of agencies, because I think we saw that pendulum swing post COVID of just people craving that live experience and realizing how much they missed it when it was gone for a
Yeah.
brief moment in time. If you're a event planner or producer or whatever, and if you're not giving respect or time of day to these production companies, I feel like you're going to get left behind pretty quickly in the near future. And
And sometimes people just want you to come up with a plan, with an idea, and I love those. Like, I've got one of our best clients pretty much just says we're having a party at this place. And the nice thing is they're always parties, right? So I know that I'm just make it as cool as possible.
Yeah.
There's going to be a DJ. We might have some speeches, but make it as cool as possible. There's going to be shit all over the place. You're not going to know anything about most of this stuff until load-in day.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. Can I hang stuff? Okay, you gave me the venue. I can talk to the venue.
Right.
I can hang stuff at this venue. Those always end up being the best because it's like, but that's like total creative control. Like, we want a Candyland theme. That's it. It's like, okay, what's your budget? This. Okay, you told me the budget. You told me the theme. I got you a plan. Like that's. But most people, they'll keep the budget part out, or they'll keep the theme out, or they'll keep the layout. It's like, if you know how much money you can spend on an event, and you're hiring people to do that event for you, and you're already still shopping quotes with 3 people, just tell them how much fucking money you have to spend on the event.
Yeah.
Because people will, we can give you the best thing for that amount of money, or we can give you stuff. Like, if you tell me the budget's 150, I can actually make sure that 150 goes as far as 150 can go.
Right.
If
It'll
you
actually
tell me
probably get
better than
$200
your
out of it.
$200,000 quote that you'd get from me direct, flat out, yes, because I know what I need to design for. I know exactly what I need to do, and you can always tell them $25,000 less than there is, or 10% less than it is, and then if they have to go up, then or whatever.
But I think that's interesting that, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's very rare where we are given a budget to work with.
Yeah. But you're
how
told
much it's gonna
constantly
cost.
that we're getting close to the budget, or we're gonna go over budget. God forbid they tell you the budget. They know the budget,
Dude, I know.
but they won't tell you.
They won't
And
tell you.
It's like, how much are y'all fighting for your own success, or how much are y'all just trying to, like, you think that you're getting a better deal because of that? Like, I really do wonder with the client and the clients that are listening in there. Tell me, do you think you're getting a better deal? Like,
By not
telling us the budget? Because you're not. Every production company leader will tell you you're getting the worst deal you could possibly get by not telling us the budget up front.
I agree.
I
agree 100%.
Like,
You know what you're going to spend, especially the bigger clients. You've
Yeah.
done this event year after year.
Yeah.
You know if you want it to look better or sound better, then you might need to add a little bit more to your budget, because you might just need some more oomph or whatever that is. But yeah, I don't know why that is. That and I get it if you're, doing something brand new and you don't have a budget and you're trying to figure it out.
there's a lot of different,
Yeah.
but that's not what I'm talking about, and that's not what you're talking
No,
about either.
yeah.
We've done this gig for 15 years. You've been doing it with someone else in town. Just tell me what you've already sent me their entire quote. You sent me everything except the pricing on their quote. Just tell me how much you're looking to pay. You want me to just copy and paste this thing over for you, basically. And
Right.
then you're going to get mad at me that I'm 10% more than them. It's like,
Well, and I think that's what maybe they don't realize is sort of, I think how in cahoots, not necessarily in cahoots, but I think all the companies, production houses here in town, we all respect one another. As much as we are maybe competitors, I think we all probably look at each other as partners or equivalents. Like, we've all rented from each other at one
Yep.
point. It's
every
like,
week, every single week,
yeah,
I rent from someone in town.
it's cross-pollination. I think that's how our ecosystem has done really well, and why I believe Austin has some of the best production in the world in terms of the skill set, the caliber, the vision. I think because we've all collaborated, we haven't looked at each other as competitors and closed our doors off.
Yeah.
We've all collaborated, but I guess agencies and, maybe event planners, they don't see that or know that. So maybe there's an opportunity for them to know that. That's like, we all know who you're talking to.
And they're fairly competitive too against each other, right? They're fighting for the agency is fighting for the end client's money.
Yeah.
And then the agencies are talking to the same 5 people. So 5 agencies are talking to the same 5 people about the same gig.
Right.
And so it's like, you know how much, like, honestly, I've had conversations before with people who are just like, hey, did you get a request for this thing? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we can't do it. Can you guys just make sure your quote wins? Because we don't want this to happen or whatever. We don't want it to go to out of town.
Right.
God forbid someone get a job from Oklahoma. Or something like that. And don't get me, I love Oklahoma. I love you guys up there at Toucan. I love you guys at Titan.
No,
But like, yeah.
I think he said it. I think we all agree with that. Like, we don't want it to go out of town.
Yeah.
So we'll do everything in our power to keep it within the family.
Yeah.
Right. Because we don't want it to go out of town. And I think originally, back when you were doing South by with Elios, and during those days, a lot of things did come from out of town because there was only a handful of houses
in town. Yeah.
But now we've really seen that shift where also clients are like, oh, well, I don't have to bring in my crew from New York or LA or wherever or Miami. And I can actually save a lot of money by not bringing them all in and use these local houses that are just as badass, if not better.
Yeah. And there's shits here. They're, if they need something, all these out of town companies. And again, love them. I love working with everybody, but they're always needing stuff from us. It's like, no one has ever packed everything they need in the truck. Like, I don't care how good your production team is, unless you're on tour and you've done the same production more than 5 times in a row or 2-3 times in a row. Like, this one-off shit, no one gets it right on the first round. Like, it is the amount of time and effort that it takes to get 100% out of a one-off production is astronomical compared to the amount of time it takes to get like 99%. Hands on the end of a gig sometimes. Well, where does this case go in the truck? It's like, I don't fucking know. This is a one-off pack, man. the cases are coming at whatever order they're coming in. We're gonna put them in the fucking truck. It's going back to the shop. We're gonna dump it all on the floor and we're gonna re-prep for tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's not think too hard on this one.
And it's like it's the difference between the tour style and the regular repeats and then the one-off stuff. One-off stuff is like it is. People have to pay a lot of money for it to go just 100% perfect. The thing is, a lot of the times it doesn't matter if it goes. Like, what happens during the load-in is fucking irrelevant. The event happened, and the thing is, everything happened during the event the way it was supposed to go. Perfect. I mean, I have so many guys who come home after gig and they're, oh, it was a disaster. Oh, blah blah blah, and it was like, well, what do you mean?
We're like, what happened? Did something fall?
This they go on this whole thing about 20 things, and then you're like, yeah, but was it? Was the client happy? The show went fine. What the fuck? It wasn't a disaster then. And you feel bad to tell me that the show went fine for some reason. What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
it's like everything is I get that we only sent you 4 ladders and you needed 5. I'm so sorry. We'll get you a 5th ladder. Like for the loadout, you'll have one. It's everybody hones in on things, right? The guy on site has a different priority set than I do. The client has a different priority set than I do. Sean has a different priority set than I do. The shop guy has a different priority set than I do. The guy driving the truck, it's like everybody's got, and there's nothing to say anybody's wrong. We're all just different people. We have different functions at
one of my this made me think about. I love TikTok. I'm always, scouring, and one of the people I follow, I'll follow construction companies and stuff, and they have some of the best TikToks, honestly.
I bet.
And it's hilarious. But the one that in this situation that you're describing, the way that the TikTok goes is starts with the project manager, and they're like, I think this project will take 8 hours. And then it goes to the field manager. And the field manager's like, I think this project will take 12 hours. And then it goes to the labor person. And they're like, fuck those guys. This is going to take 4 days. And we don't have this. We don't have that.
Yeah.
And it's that's just that's just the battle, or the, kind of, that's obviously dramatized a little bit. But
no, that's pretty accurate.
That's kind of how it goes. We think when we're on the project management side, you know, we have to work it through our head, and you also can't tell the client's going to take, you know, 18 hours because they'll be like, well, we can't, you know, we're not going to do that, you know? And so then you have to figure out how to condense it and where to make the right strategic decisions to get
Tell
there.
the guys to work faster.
They love that.
They love that. Oh yeah. It's their favorite
That's
thing.
how they work harder. But yeah, it's just, I think there's just that dichotomy of, you're in this weird place of like working against each other, but for each other. And that's the harmony.
Yep.
You know,
that's the harmony. There you go. That's
the harmony of it.
Swinging it back over there.
Thanks, Jeff Bezos.
Thank you, Daddy Bezos.
So one more thought on the challenges. It kind of got me thinking, in terms of when you are, when you're going from design to actual iteration in the field. And I think you had mentioned this too. And one of your answers was, it's really hard to design for 100%. You know, it's almost like the plan is to not have a plan, or I think you kind of said something like that. So with that approach, you know, what are the sacrifices or challenges that come from being maybe loose in order to execute?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, and just speaking personally, I think I have a harder time with some of the more detail-oriented clients than some other companies in town might, or other people, because I am kind of laissez-faire with the. And again, if you tell me that things need to be blue, like I keep all the details. I guess where I'm on that more is like, how many times have you gone to site and the day went exactly the way it was supposed to go? Like, I don't think it's ever happened. Like, I mean, it's very few.
It's happened a few times.
Even when I was on tour, and we'd be doing the exact same thing every day, it would be markedly different depending on where you were. The hands, the everything. There's just so many different elements, and so it's like, and again, giant corporate shit does usually go exactly like it's supposed to, but there's a lot of money behind that.
Right. There's a lot of
versus
production
like
behind
a
that.
$3,000 wedding or something like that, or or a $3,000 corporate event. You know, $150,000 event versus a $3,000 event. Like, the math says there's going to be more planning on the $150,000 event than the that's just how math works.
But there's going to be more emails for the $3,000.
There's going to be more emails for the $3,000 gig. And it's like the best plan. It's almost like the best plan is to have no plan. Like, if you go in with the willingness and like the thought process to be able to just adapt, because all anybody's really looking for is adaptability. Because the minute that the ceiling collapses that nobody expected, which God forbid, hopefully never happens to anybody, but like, you're gonna have to do something else. If you were gonna hang on the ceiling and it's gone, now the event might not be happening, who knows? But like, like you've got to be able to, if when the plan change, I've seen so many people where like this doesn't show up the way it's supposed to happen, and they just throw a fit. It's like, well, that's not gonna work with our team, and it's like, okay, well, your team sucks. Like, like at a certain point, the event is still happening today. What are you gonna put your hands up and say we're not gonna get this finished for people? And it's like, everybody ends up adapting. Everybody, like, by the time it's over, they end up adapting. So why not just be ready to do that up front? Like, why push back immediately when something changes? Just be able to work with the plan and the change. I don't know if people like my vibe like that sometimes.
By not having a plan, do you at least plan for the oh shit, right? Does that mean packing extras, packing something weird that could be used?
That's exactly what it means. Is just bring a bunch of shit that you probably don't need. The crew's gonna be mad no matter what, right? They're gonna be mad if you don't have enough stuff. They're gonna be mad if you have too much stuff. So take if they're mad about like little things out of the equation and find out what they're actually mad about, like what matters on the crew side of things, and then just I mean, like, we have a plan. Like, the quote is a plan.
You've got pick lists.
The guys are coming at a certain time. They're the trucks are assigned for the job. There's tape on the cases. We have stuff. It's all happening. The best. I mean, the key is like they show up. This is all particularly wedding stuff, but you show up and they're like, actually, it's outside now. And you're like, okay, great. We were going to hang all the stuff off these beams. And
There's no beams outside.
There's no beams outside. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, when you're doing that kind of thing, it's like bring aircraft cable in case you have to go off of trees that are like 250 feet away. You know,
Yep.
it's like little shit that you add to the quote to make, or just a pulse sheet where they don't even pay for it. Cause like, you know, if it doesn't really come out of the box and we weren't using it somewhere else, it doesn't matter if it doesn't get paid for or not. It's there to make sure that the job is better for people. It's why we bought radios. It's why we bought
Right.
like wireless comm. People don't want to pay us for comm for some inexplicable reason, even though they all want to ask for comm. They all want to say it's too expensive. It's like, just send it, just put it on the gig.
Because it's just going to make it that much better
Make
and
this
easier.
guy happy, and if this guy's happy, I don't have to listen to him bitch later. Which you know makes everybody's life a little busier, happier, because he's gonna have a heart attack someday because he's always mad about stuff, or whatever. Yeah, you're just trying to
Like, that's the way to go
bring
about
zip
it.
ties, even if you don't need zip ties. You never know what you're gonna need zip ties for, man. Like gaff tape, we got black, we got white, we got brown. Why not take all three colors? I don't care that you might need to use white.
Yeah. There could be a little section.
Like, could be anything, right? What if you got a checkered floor thing? You got to do black and then white.
Oh, damn. That's hardcore, dude. Y'all are hardcore over there.
We got.
That is details.
No, it would probably just be black across the edge there.
Let's be real. It's almost like you get presented more challenges if you're rigid in this industry.
Yeah.
It can be way more challenging than just knowing that it's inevitably going to be different than what the plan was. So just
fluidity, man. Like, that's why I would hate to be like a carpenter. Because, like, you can't really do anything about stuff whenever, like, you're building something, it has to fit it. Like, that's why I hate truss structures sometimes. It's like, no, the truss structure really does need to go exactly where, there's no margin for error here. Right.
Yeah.
We only have, like, an inch in every direction for this to work. Those are harder than, like, you know, festoons in a field. It's like, you know, if someone really needs me to draw exactly where all these towers go for us to festoon over, you know, 12 tables in a field with 500 feet of festoons, I can do that. But
that's just like not,
what I draw overhead from a paper is not what is going to look as good as if you're standing there and you're like, oh, it would be nice if it swooped up over here. It's like, you know, half of this job is art. Like, you know, it's not just that's why people don't get further sometimes. Like, they stay at the stagehand level or the crew level, and they don't move on to like designer or operator and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know if they realize that it's like, this is an art job. Like, this is all just one giant fucking art project. Like, we're just trying to put the pieces together, and like, you know, if you run out of blue paint, you gotta do something. Like, you can't necessarily go to the art store to get more blue paint. So you have to know how to do everybody else's job too. Like, there's all these people in their lanes. Like, I only do lights. I only do video. I only do. It's like, y'all are not helping yourselves when AI takes over everybody's job. Like, you know, if like this whole super specialization thing is going to kick everybody's ass someday. Like, you need to be able to do.
I agree. You at least need to have an understanding of all the
basic
areas.
understanding of everybody else's job.
I agree. I think that's a major skill set to have.
And I think it's not. Like, I think more people are. It's hard to tell, man. Like, at our team, we probably have 2 people on our entire contractor staff that could touch lasers, video, lights, and audio. Out of 67, 80 contractors.
Yeah, everybody has really kind of tried to just be specialized,
sitting in their lane. Yeah, and then it's got like, you know, I know people like Wes, like all the big names, like the local good operators and stuff. It's like they all know how to do everything. Like Scott Huggins, audio, lighting, video.
Yep, rigging,
you know,
design,
lasers, Beard, same thing. Like Wes, same thing. Adam Hendrickson, like we got all these guys in town that do know how to do everything, and it's like those are the guys who are getting work all the time. Like,
and I mean, I bet
demand.
their story, which is funny. I'm some of those names I think are going to be hopefully on here as well, but like that takes time though, right?
Yeah.
To be able to develop all those skill sets, and maybe the approach for these specialized people is like, well, I can condense my time to get a better rate by focusing on just lighting or focusing on just audio.
Yeah.
But I think that's just, you know, everyone chooses their path. But yeah, there's like a short-term advantage of that. And I think, you know, but you could in the long run, you better be the best of the best.
Which none of us are.
Right.
You know, and it's like, you could be, even if you are for a second, you won't be 1 second later.
Yeah, there's somebody
Like,
coming
there's
up
something
who's
somewhere on
or
Earth. This is a
technology.
big world. You know, DMX is a standard. You know, like all these like people laugh at some of these productions coming out of India that they see on like the Instagram videos. It's always like a stage that's flipping over in the wind. But it's like if you look closely at what's on that stage, it's like these are pretty sick productions that are flying around flying across the.
They just didn't balance it properly,
yeah.
but
at all. They never put any ballast on any of these things. It's a wonderful.
yeah, but the lighting rig is dope.
Like,
yeah.
and it stays dope while it's spinning. Like, yeah, and you know, like production is, we're not in a bubble. Like, we're not, you know, they've got everything that you've got here. There's a billion people in China. Like, I bet there's people in China that are smarter than all of us. Like, I know that there are. Like,
I don't have to
big
question
populations. Like, we are a very small pond. And you know, the fact that I know you and we know the same people on that list of names that I'm saying and so on, it's like we're looking at a very small pond with a much larger pond.
Yeah,
You know,
the
a
other
series
side.
of ponds outside of this. Yeah, and it's, you know, like everything's a small microcosm. Microcosm is not the word I'm looking for, but it sounds cool.
When it comes to this industry and all the challenges, it's really good to hear your perspective on it because I think it's again, I believe it is a unique perspective. I think your road and path is one that people can look at, and all of our past, you know, there's certainly some sexy parts of it, but then there's a lot of not glamorous moments of it, and
Yeah.
it's good to hear your thought process in it because I do think it's very important for the next generation of technicians and crew and industry people just to know that it's a long road. But it can be super fulfilling if you just mentally accept it and commit to it.
Yeah.
But you do have to challenge yourself. Like this is, it's not an easy road by any means.
Well, it's a lifestyle. You
It's
know,
a lifestyle.
you've got no.
Yes.
If you really put yourself into this, you will have no other capable. Like, you will have no other skills. Like, I mean, you can like basic customer service, those kinds of things, but like, you know, I think about it whenever I get frustrated. It's like, what the fuck else would I even do? Like, I don't know how to do anything else. Like, I don't. You know, I've spent all this time learning all this very, very useless knowledge in the grand scheme of the world. You know, like, oh, I can time code a show. It's like, tell that to the guy at HEB. He doesn't care. Yeah,
Which isn't time coding a form of AI?
No, not quite.
Aren't you just like?
See, there's okay. If you want to, do you want to do the AI thing? We can do the AI.
I'm just saying, you know, all you anti-AI ears, right?
I like note-taking process sounds reasonable. Like, there are definitely uses for the AI thing. I just see it as quickly taking away jobs from people that do creative things, because that seems to be what it's actually best at, is faking creativity.
It's definitely faking it. There's a lot of garbage out there.
There's
still.
the thing is, like, only 10% of population realizes the difference between fake creativity and real creativity. And so you got, like, the masses are always going to be appeased by garbage. You know, like, I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm sounding pretty negative there, but like, we are, as people, geared toward liking things that are simple and seem repetitive. Like, if I like the vibe of this room, I'm more likely to like more rooms that look more like this room. And the computer knows that. And that's why the people who are actually creative can see how non-creative this AI nonsense is. But the people who aren't, they, like, people eat it up, man. People watch, you see Facebook, you have Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
They think everything is real now.
Yeah,
there
the
literally
scary
will be like a Godzilla coming out of the fucking ground in New York City, and people will be like, "Oh my God, the Japanese are attacking," or some crazy comments. It's like, are these people who are commenting even real? Like,
Yeah,
what is real anymore? And it's like, yeah. So, like, you know, when you do get down to like the art side of things, it's like, I mean, any tour that comes through nowadays that has like that isn't touring with the guy who made the content, I'm gonna have him back of my head to be like, I bet none of this is real. I bet all this is like, you know, like, they've created this this world now, and then everybody who embraces it makes it look more like people are embracing it. And then if everybody's embracing it, then it's normal and it's fine. So then we don't even discuss that nobody's really doing it anymore. And then at a certain point, that guy loses his job. And the tour manager just makes the content because he knows how to make red and yellow lines look sick.
Yeah.
Because all it is tell Gemini to make me yellow and red lines that look sick.
I mean, that's probably going to be one of the challenges that we're up against. I did see another fucking hilarious TikTok. It was some production guy who's like, let's see AI take my job. I don't think AI can run 200 feet of DMX in the wrong direction. And I was like, yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah. That job will still be human. That'll still be a human job. Hopefully.
And it's wild how that happens so often too. People running stuff back. Like I have people run me Edison cables backwards sometimes. It's like, dude,
not thinking.
You never plugged anything into the wall. Like it's got 3, whatever.
Yeah. Pick and choose your battles. But
and then some of those kids end up being really, really smart in the end.
You got to make your mistake, right? You got to do it once, and then hopefully you don't do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do 200 feet over beams and,
Oh, man. Zip tying it every 5 feet. Yeah.
That's why, also, I'm sure you probably told people it's like not to zip tie until you're plugged in.
Yeah. It should look like a disaster until right before we're done.
I know. And that's a really scary part, I feel
like.
For the clients, for everybody. That was such a hurdle for us starting out. I was anti that always in the very beginning, It's like, from the first foot, it's got to be clean. That's how I approached it. And our business partner was always just like, dude, just let it hang. And then once everything's tested up,
because there's nothing worse than like ripping on something. Yeah, you
need like 6 more inches, and nope, you're locked down.
Like, fuck, I gotta tear down 50 zip ties.
But that's one of those things. It's like, obviously someone can tell you that, and you can believe them. But me being the young asshole that I was, I had to do it for myself.
Yeah.
And then I fucked up and I was like, okay,
I get it now. Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well then how do I protect the client in terms of them, you can feel their energy in the room when they're looking around and, they're like, yes, I will gaff that. Yes, I will clean that. Like, don't worry.
Oh God, she's going to say my name and I can feel it. I can feel it. Nope. There it is.
There it is. Yeah. We'll get to that. Don't worry. But it's it is really good to hear about all those challenges. So, I think one of the last things I want to get to is more now like the positive wins. And from your perspective, where's that rewarding moment for you now when you feel like an event is a success or a designer builds a success? Like, what is it from a post you see on social media? Is it like a high five, or like what's that kind of for you now satisfaction?
It depends on who the event, what the event was. If it was there are certain clients who I will only feel good about something until like after I've heard from them. It was great, and there's getting a text from a client in the middle of an event that's not where is X person or whatever. That's like everything looks fantastic. It's like those are like the things, because you're living at I'm sure you have the same thing. You're living at like a 7 to 10 stress on like a
it's just like the normal meter.
Yeah, it's like we're sitting at the top.
And that's our baseline.
Like every phone call is like just hearing the phone go off is like another click up, and you're like, please don't be a problem. And they're calling, and it's like to hear someone call and be like, I just want you to know that Bennett did great today or whatever. And it's like, that's a really weird thing for you to call about. But thank you, because now I'm like, I just ticked down for the first time in a hot minute. It's like that. It's like seeing people post, seeing our guys post, obviously NDAs and so on. Sure. But like, I don't really care what they do on their personal accounts. Yeah. Nobody's following them except their buddies. But the seeing them post some stuff where they're, just the other day, one of our guys posted something about getting over his fear of heights, and he's in a scissor lift at the top of a thing.
I saw that. It's
after years of working with us and so on. It's like, it's like that kind of thing right there. Like, because Chris saw that, and he was like, "Can I repost this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I actually really like this thing. Just repost it." He's like, "Should I keep the text?" It's like, "Yeah, just repost the text." It's because it's that, man. It's like paying people. Like as much as it sucks every week whenever money goes out for paying people, it's like you were paying a lot of people. Like we got 14 full-time employees I'm putting money in the pocket of. We've got a mountain of contractors, some of which make astronomical amounts of money on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That's
10
you're
years ago,
getting
I
that
was-
satisfaction now from seeing the successes of others. Like
yeah,
you've kind of maybe, it sounds like, hit that pinnacle moment in your career where a shared success, where maybe starting out is more individual success. Like, okay, I did this gig, I learned this console, whatever. And now it seems like it's a little bit more shared of the team.
it's
did
we
this.
now. Yeah, almost everything is like we did this. We, like I love it when someone else picks up a big, big project thing that's like, kind of not something we would normally be doing or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, we got this thing, or we got the Coca-Cola video wall or whatever, it's just those little things. It's like, it's all like family. It's all cohesive.
Was there a moment when you felt that switch? Like, I know it's probably impossible to pinpoint an exact time, but was that when you started going more into project management and sales, when like now it was more based on a team win than a personal?
I think definitely a fully transitioned into it by the time I was doing this project management sales thing. Like I very little think about, first off, like we've exhausted all of my personal connections and like, all of my friends are already working here.
Yeah.
all of my best clients are already our clients. Like there's very little I can do to personally sweeten the pot anymore. So everything that happens is a community effort. It's like I've already put in, maybe the first year I was here, I was more but honestly that was COVID and everything was a fucking disaster.
Dude.
I mean, like waking up in the morning and just wondering if it's even worth waking up anymore. Like we had nothing for 6-7 months. I was working for very little money, and we're trying to piece stuff together. Sean couldn't figure out what to do, and nobody could figure out what to do. You guys couldn't. Nobody knew what to do. The government gave some people money, and some people they didn't give money, and so like
we got lucky because we at the time we did have a W-2 payroll from like a good chunk of people.
Yeah,
so like
we were all 1099, so we got nothing.
You got nothing. I know.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was brutal, man, for a lot of people. Obviously y'all figured it out and
somehow
fucking shot out of it. I think a lot of people those who got through it have really
all slingshotted to the top. Yeah.
Have done really well. And that was a big course correction in history. And I don't know, kind of like, I don't know if it's like what we needed, but I know prior to COVID, it seemed like everybody was going so fast and so hard that inevitably there was going to be a spin out or like
everybody was burning out and nobody was making any money.
Right. That was the problem.
Yeah. It's like now everybody's burning out and they're making money. So at least there's money.
You got money to pay for mental health services now. It was such a wild time, but I mean, that's good to hear that it's gone more from an I to a we. And I feel like that seems like a pretty natural progression for that moment in your career and for others' career, and I want the young kids to hear it too, because you do have to be I focused, but inevitably when you can get to a we focus, like that's a really good place to be in. The last part that I'd love to talk on, before we wrap, is we've covered a ton in terms of, what got you into it, some of those challenges, how you leveled up in your career, our experience with clients, all this kind of stuff. But the last thing I want to talk about is the ethos and your personal ethos when it comes to just surviving and thriving again in this industry. And is there, there's a couple things here. So first thing, it seems like you're constantly trying to learn and level up. That's sort of been a theme in your career. Right now, with where you are, is there a particular tool or resource that you're using to do that? Are you a YouTube like DIY, or do you read a manual?
I'm definitely a YouTube person. I used to read manuals. I've kind of gotten to a point now if I'm in it's like pointed Google searches, most menus make sense. Like at a certain point when you touch 100 different types of software, there's only so many differences. Like patch exists in everything audio and everything lighting somewhere. Like it might be called something else, IO or whatever, but it's still patch.
Yeah.
Like the concept exists. Uh, Most computers have like a file menu, like and a close button and like a expand or whatever. So like a lot of learning is really just like if you have the time, learning shit on site is always bad. Like if you have an hour to learn something that you should have learned over the past 2 weeks, it's not good. But like
Yeah, you can't cram it.
if you can sit down and mess with like just click around. Like I a lot of the times when I don't know something, like when something weird happens with particularly Resolume, I just start clicking on stuff. And like, what's the worst that could happen? I have to restart the composition. Like,
That's fair.
who cares? Like we're not in the middle of a show. We've got 5 hours. It's like click around. And it's like, oh, I see what happened. It's like you learned something. I'm a click until you figure it out kind of person. I love YouTube,
around
but
and find out.
I'm a click around and find out. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. Click around, find out, mother. Yeah, dude. That's your new slogan. Put that on your shirt. So you're tactile. You like to kind of like that's how you like to learn right now.
Yeah, and if I need to know something, if I like to think that I have a pretty good idea of like getting a question together whenever I run into a problem, I know how to ask that question and I know who to ask it to. And so it's like if I'm in some kind of particular situation in some particular software, I'm picking up my phone. If it's not like, Friday night or Saturday, like when I know people will be in show, I'm calling a buddy and saying like, hey dude, I know I could look this up, but I know it's going to be like 15 things I got to read online. I'm trying to do this. I know you know how to do this. Where is this? And they're instantly oh yeah, open the menu on the thing and you're going to go to this thing or whatever. It's like, I do that all the time. It's like, why take the long route when I could take I know all of this. I know the menu. I know this can do this.
You just need a direct
I just
point.
need to know exactly how to if I could just say to the thing, do this, Resolume.
So AI?
Yeah, basically. I mean, but again, I prefer it because it was when I get a call like that, because people call me all the time about the Onyx consoles. Like people who work for us, people who work for other people, just people in general. Like I'm one of the resources for that in the Central Texas region. Dude, it puts me through my paces. Like, my brain is firing for the rest of the day after I do like console support for somebody over the phone. I don't have it in front of me. I'm just like, well, there's a menu somewhere. It's gonna kind of looks like a circle. Like, I don't know what it is. It's up in the left somewhere. Oh yeah, that. Yeah, yes. Okay. Do you see something that says this? Yeah. Don't click that. Click the one next to it. I was just trying to find that window. It puts you in a mood. It puts you in a mode. Like, I love tech support. I love being tech support. That's actually my favorite part of this job, probably.
No shit.
Single favorite would be like actually getting a call about some kind of weird thing that isn't working for somebody and having buried in my head somewhere they're like, oh yeah, that happened to us like 7 months ago and Hendrickson did this to fix it. And then, it's like, and then it's like, boom, to them on the other side, they're like, man, we've been working on this for like an hour. It's like, yeah, you should call me an hour ago. Like, and it's not all the time, but like, man, it feels great whenever you can solve someone's problem. Like there is nothing better than
that's so true.
I used something in vault of my brain that made your life successful right now at this moment. And it's like, it's the little things, man. It's the little stuff that,
it
I
goes
guess 'cause
around.
I'm getting older, but I'm into the little things now.
That's so true. The tech support, there's such a sense of victory when you can help somebody out on the other line who's remote, and like you can hear it in their voice when it clicks and it works, and like you just know that like
when you go from scared to like, oh, okay, today's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
like because I've been that guy.
Yeah,
I've been that guy where you're calling somebody and you're like, you're in front of, it's taking me back to when I was 22 years old. It's like, how many times I wanted to cry in like fucking public on some nonsense, like and you just you don't do that.
Yeah.
you know, you
gotta hold that in.
You call, but
push
you,
that
but
way
you
down.
call someone, and you call someone like Alex Soto back in the day was usually one of my go-to tech support calls. And you know, he's half nice, half making fun of you. But get you solved, right? And it's just like, you know, I that person is critical to the, you know, in every organization. Having knowing as an operator or as a person, just knowing who to call, who will have the answer that you need, is probably the single most useful. If someone took one thing out of this, it would be figure out who knows everything about what you were trying to do and connect with them enough where they'll take your phone call, and you will always be able to succeed.
Damn,
because you find the right person
true.
who can cut a 200-step thing down into 5 sentences for you or whatever. And it's like that, your AI can't do that. Like that takes a moment, like things having actually happened before and
over
years. And, you know, it's like DMX, like I could tell you which light in a chain of 24 is probably the problem out of them if there's some kind of DMX related issue, like just by looking at it. If I can look at all of it and, like, you know, if I have control of the console and I can bring it to blue and I see that one's flashing, but that one's flashing too over there, I bet that there's something wrong over here.
Yeah,
you know, like and you can't teach that. I mean, that's why you build that's why you build relationships and connections. It's the only reason to be social. Like I mean, like the biggest, like, you know, I'd say the only reason, but like that's the biggest reason to be social. Like these people have stuff to help you.
Dude.
Like they're all over the place. Like just, you know, and I if I ever need to touch designer information, I can talk to a certain person about it. Like there's just like certain, like lasers. I don't know anything about lasers. I know how to. I can set anything up, right? And I can get the lasers on and I can zone them out. But after that, it's like I have no idea how to use Beyond. There's pictures, you click on them. There's like a slider for setting. I can do that. But like, you know, I see people and they're up there like writing scripts and doing all this other crazy shit, and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
You need to be friends with that guy,
right? I need to be able to talk to him for whenever I need to do it, or I need to know his number so I can direct one of my guys to him when they call me about something I don't know how to answer. Like, you know, we're all always answer the phone. I mean, that's the biggest piece of advice possible. Like, always answer the phone for people in the community. Like
that, yeah, man.
Always
answer the phone. I mean, and I would say it's full circle because I know we've called you in those moments of troubleshooting, and it's just like, you know, and so I think there's that pay it forward, right? Like if you're gonna make that call, then you better answer the call if somebody calls you, because that's just, again, I think that's just like also just a big applause to our industry and specifically locally here in town is, yeah, I feel like I could call any one of these companies, especially if I'm renting a gear from them or something like that, and they're going to support and figure out or run a new piece up. Cause like, oh, you know, maybe it is working, but it sounds like we can't get it solved. So let me just get you a new one up. Like that is like,
we've had that with y'all with hazers or whatever. Y'all, both of our hazers are like, both of them aren't working, Drew. Okay. I'll send you more hazers.
Hey, I'm just the middleman, you know, my LD said it ain't working. You
it's
know,
like, give me your LD's number.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, man, I mean, it's just like the fact that everyone's willing to just kind of more or less at the drop of a hat, figure out, can we troubleshoot it? If not, you know, can we replace it or whatever? Like you said earlier, but I think having someone like that on your team or in the company or knowing that other person elsewhere, that's all the confidence you need to go execute a show. Like if you have that safety net, then 100%, you're probably going to be able to execute and have a successful show.
Because most of it's easy. Other than that, it's easy until you run into something you don't know how to do. And if you don't know how to call, then, or if you don't know how to ask the question, you know, like Google's great. And once you know what you're looking for, but
yeah,
if you ask, you can type 3 sentences in and get not at all what you're looking for.
Yeah. Go down the wrong direction.
Right.
Then you're fucked.
That's the worst when you end up, you know, following set instructions for something else entirely.
Yeah, like, whoops.
Halfway through, you're like, okay, I've deleted half the show.
And now I'm locked
out of the console. Yeah.
I think you said it, but just to reiterate on the ethos, of kind of like what's one of the more important things to pass along. I just want to iterate it. So you said, being able to make that phone call when shit hits the fan, knowing who to call, becoming friends with that person, but then also answering the call on the other side of it. The last thing I'll ask in terms of ethos, is there anything mentally that you would say that you've kind of figured out to, exist in this harmonious work life and industry? Is it just a commitment to persistence? Is it a commitment to not giving up? Or like, is there any mental, strength thing that you've developed?
Honestly, probably a lot of it goes back to fear. It's like, what else am I going to do? Like, there is no give up. Like, that's never been an option, like, except for college.
Amen.
Like that would be my biggest there's no giving up. You can't, like, that can't be those two words cannot be in your dictionary, and you will, if you can get those out of your dictionary for a daily thing, you'll be successful. Like,
amen.
Just period. I don't care what you're successful at. It's any kind of industry. If you can just, you got to get over that throwing your hands up thing, man. Like, or if you throw them up for a second, you walk away and you come back.
Yeah.
And you get that, because there is definitely that, like, I walked away and then I got back to it and it was like, oh, it was clear as day as soon as I stood there.
Right. There's a difference between giving up and taking a break, or like stepping away, for sure.
Yeah. Or, I got mad at, a lot of the times it's those moments when you're trying to give up are also the moments when you're lashing out at people.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll like, sometimes a good yelling will get you back on track, just if you got people that are close to you and they know you, and, I have a tendency to yell about stuff sometimes. It's like everybody around me doesn't take it as like I'm not attacking them. They're just, oh, Wade's just lost his mind again. We'll just let him do it for a minute. He's going to come back with some kind of brilliant idea that's going to solve this problem.
Hey.
Or something like that. Or someone else will come up with a brilliant idea while Wade's losing his shit over there.
Maybe we should think so.
Maybe we should think. I think that happens so often, where people see that I'm like kind of at the edge, and then they're like, okay, well, what if it's like, why didn't y'all say this shit hours ago? Are you just trying to see how close you can push me to the edge? But no, just never giving up, man. Always finding, no one ever succeeded by giving up at anything. And the whole, you're constantly going to be given disappointment in life. You're constantly going to be given challenges in life, at work, at home, anything that happens. Like, when I could walk across Lamar in a minute and get hit by a car and have a whole new series of challenges that could happen. And so it's like, anything can happen anytime. Just, if you always have a can-do, go-getter attitude, I mean, I'm sounding like an old person, but if you always have that right attitude, you'll succeed. Like, the only people who don't succeed are the people who don't think that they can.
That's it. I think that is extremely wise words. Very simple, but we have to hear that. We can say it. It's one thing to say it. I think you embody it. I know a lot of other people who are successful, and I think they embody that same trait, whether they say it out loud or not. But I'm glad you said it out loud, because I think that is a big one that is so simple. Yeah. But it's simple, but it's extremely hard, because it's going to challenge you, and it's going to try and break you, this world and this industry. And I think, if you need to step away, you can step away, but don't quit. Don't give up. Yeah. If it's something that really, that you enjoy 51% of the time, then it's probably still worth it.
Right. And if you don't, then get out.
If you don't, then get out. Yeah. Like, there's other things to do.
And there's other people who deserve your spot. Like,
I've heard that from multiple people on this show, of that mentality too, where it's like, if you're not enjoying it, then yeah, you should get out.
Yeah. Especially in the lower stages, when you're just, crewing and operating and stuff. It's like if you don't enjoy pushing cases, you're not going to enjoy anything else that happens after that. Like, you know, like I long for the days where all I do is push cases.
Dude. Or work in the warehouse,
Give
man.
me
I'd love
20
to just pack
semis to unload by myself. I would love to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't have to answer any emails. Oh God. Like, you know, and
it's just full circle, right? When you're in it, you can't. It's so hard to zoom out.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
but
dude, we could go on about the bubble. The bubble. Have I talked to you about the bubble before?
yeah.
Well, another time.
Okay.
But
give me a quick 1 minute.
everything looks really shitty all the time when you are in a bubble with all the stuff. We could have 99.9% success rate on every event, and I would still tell you that everything is a shit pile all the time. Because I'm next to it. Everything that goes wrong is like 500 times more amplified.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we forgot a pencil.
I don't have a Sharpie.
You know, I don't have a Sharpie. You know, like these, you know, and it's like, then you hear from people like, you know, you hear from outside parties and people who are like adjacent parties, and they're like, yeah, man, y'all are killing it. Like,
yeah.
And then we talk about something, they're like, you'll say something like, people will even say like positive things about something that went negative in your mind. Same thing with anything, like musicians, when they make a song or something like that, they may like everybody around them loves it. They're like, wow, I should have done this or whatever, you know, like you're never going to be happy if you're just looking at it in the bubble. Like, you have to take a step outside of your existence sometimes and just like look at what you've accomplished. Cause like, if I just sat inside the bubble all the time for everything to do with AEL, I would tell you everything is a disaster. It's not. Like, it's
right.
By no measure is it even close to everything being a disaster.
Yeah.
But like
from the outside, I can say y'all are crushing it.
Right. And so, and I could say the same thing about any other company or a series of other companies. But I bet if I talk to any of their people individually in their zone, they're like, everything is falling apart.
It's kind of
know?
So that's like the grass is greener mentality, right? Yeah. Of like, we've had people who like think the grass is greener, and then they go to another company. It's like, that's the same shit. Like, it's just like,
no one knows how to
it's
back
probably
a
your
truck.
attitude that is creating this
right.
cycle of misery.
Yep.
It's all the same shit. We're going to push cases. We're going to build shit. We're going to tear it down. We're going to operate it. Someone's
going to be happy. Someone's going to be mad.
Yeah.
There's a bathroom down the left. Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, the next episode is going to be politics, AI, and the bubble.
Perfect. That's what we should just rename the show.
Politics, AI, and the bubble. Oh my God.
Presented by Waterloo Records.
Yeah. Like, well, actually, we're not going to put a name to that. No, I would. I've always said that I think production people are fucking some of the smartest, most creative, you know, the people who I would actually vote for to solve a problem.
Yeah.
I think they can solve a lot more problems, the world's problems, than you know, than maybe people think. And, but, you know, we're becoming more present, I believe, our industry, and we're no longer the disgruntled person in the corner smoking a cigarette. I think we're becoming more of a presence of problem solvers, more of a presence of an actual, you know, creative industry. So,
yeah.
But it's people like yourself who are pushing that forward, and I think leaving the old guard behind in terms of what we thought it was and actually what it is now, which is we're really proud of the work we do. We're going to work our asses off, and there's going to be some good results from that. So,
yeah, we'll keep doing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And no matter how happy or mad you are, we'll be back the next day.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Well, Mr. Wade, I really appreciate this conversation. It's been a good one. We're going to look back on this and be like, oh yeah, there's been some good nuggets in there.
Hopefully.
There's been some good ones. And I think, again, I really want people to understand a little bit more. This was a really good one of just kind of talking more about the pains, the woes, the wins. Like, you know, I haven't had a shot to do that just yet. And so I've really enjoyed it and being discussed with you. I think we've shined a light on a lot of good stuff.
It's great.
Anything on your horizon before we wrap? Any like new technologies, new projects, any things you're stoked about?
I'm always stoked about everything to do with pixel mapping.
Hell yeah.
Everything should have more pixels involved.
Yeah.
Things that are just one color are stupid at this point. You know, I'm very interested in people getting away from like warm white vibes for weddings and going into more like, you know, anything else.
Dangerous.
Because it just doesn't we're not in 1980 anymore. And we could do better. I think we as a society can do better on some of these weddings than we get to do these days. And I'm gonna leave it at that, so I don't get in trouble with the clients. And then
But your weddings are beautiful. Your weddings are beautiful.
Again, warm white's beautiful. All these things. The reason that they're so popular is they work.
That's true.
You know, and if you don't, why take a chance when you don't have to take a chance, right? I get it. But like, you know, I can't pay the bills off warm white up lights and pin spots. We have a lot of really cool stuff going on that doesn't end up on those gigs, that ends up on the other gigs. In terms of like new technology, like everything touch designer is super cool. Really like I'm kind of getting too old or busy to really take much real effort to learn like entirely new verticals
of
but I like to pick up at least enough information about everything that we're doing now or like newer stuff that we do to where I can basically get something going for when someone needs help or whatever, you know, like just again, tech support being the most. Honestly, if that was all my job was, I'd be so happy all the time. Just people call me, I'll answer your questions. And then other stuff on the horizon, it's not necessarily technology, but we're working on like a soft rebrand for the company.
Badass.
Moving more away from the Austin oriented and the event lighting oriented thing to just like a straight AEL. It sounds corporate. It looks corporate. We could be a sports drink company for all you know. Yeah, we're doing like a little soft rebrand of that, trying to be able to push on more of the like larger statewide stuff. You know, if I'm from Midland, I'm not hiring someone from the liberal capital to come do my thing. And so it's like there's a series of good things that can come from that. And then we've been doing a lot of stuff nationwide.
Heck
I think it would shock people how many times we went out of the state of Texas last year. It was 30 to 40 times for decent sized gigs.
Badass.
In the last like 365 days. So you know we've got a lot of potential, and it's like, you know, you go to do a gig in Orlando and all the cases say Austin event lighting. It's like, if I'm the guy who's paying for that gig in Orlando, I'm probably thinking, what the hell did we bring people from Austin, Texas to do a gig in Orlando for? Like, you know, and that's the businessman thinking, right? But like,
well, that's that mentality shift for like South by, right? I was like, why
are people coming from Boston to do this thing down on Rainy Street?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's like, and why is their gear so cool? They've got all sorts of shit I've never seen before. Yeah. It's because there's money up in Boston for production.
Yeah.
And that's been changing here. So anyway, yeah, just working on that, and my whole life is business. So
I love it, man.
It's all.
Well, it shows. I mean, y'all are crushing it. I know y'all have got a big, bright future ahead. I mean, Sean and Chris over there. It's been incredible to watch their journey. You know, we've kind of grown up with them, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
to just see everybody.
Y'all have been together longer than I've even known you, I think.
Yeah,
y'all have been working together.
Yeah, Sean and we reconnected. It's like I remember it clear as day. This was 10, 12 years ago, whenever it was, like when he kind of first started and we first started. And we both ran into each other at a Home Depot, like at 9:50 when they close at 10, and we're like both like looking for some little piece of material for a gig the next day, and we're like, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, like you're doing
We're
that?
doing the same thing.
Yeah. And like it just kind of all blossomed from there, and everybody, man. I mean, I know you mentioned Elios a bunch, like, they sold LD Systems, which just again shows the the value of companies in town. Like there's a national interest now, obviously, with
when there
big,
did not used to be.
Right.
10 years ago, nobody outside of
Nobody outside
Dallas knew who Austin was.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think that's due to some key players in the industry who have like made big impacts. And I think you're one of them. And so just happy to have you on the show and talk to you about your perspective on things. I really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you having me out, man. And
Well, all right, y'all. Well, thank you again for tuning in. Thank you again, Mr. Wade, for the conversation. Y'all tune in, tune up, and I'll catch you on the next one. Word.